Ghost, he was always breaking Tasha's heart amongst your heart and many others. Yeah. He wound up breaking Angela's heart. I told you, Angie. You should have listened to me.
Yeah.
Last one to the airport buys breakfast. Day one.
Yeah.
All right, we need to do a formal introduction.
Okay. Yeah, this is the queen right here. Like this is the queen of our universe. This is my mama.
Oh.
Like
I'm glad you remembered. That's what's up.
Day one OG. Naturi Naughton is in the building.
Hey.
And yeah, we're super excited to have you. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Of course,
I'm excited to do this BET Awards weekend. We out here, you know.
We celebrating Black excellence.
Exactly.
This
no, thank y'all for having me.
Of course. I watched the pilot of Power 2 nights ago. I was like, I want to watch the first episode again. I watched the first 3 episodes.
I feel like
you were so good in that pilot.
Really?
Like, oh my God. I remember just being like,
watch this again.
The scene specifically when you were watching Ghost go up to Angela. And your reaction, like, he's coming over to me. And then you see him.
Oh my gosh,
that was like the first heartbreak.
So heartbreaking.
You were so good in that scene. I was like, damn.
Thank you.
You see it in the eyes, like.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Ghost, he was always breaking Tasha's heart amongst your heart and many others.
Yeah.
He wound up breaking Angela's heart. I told you, Angie. You should have listened to me. You know, but that pilot was one of actually my audition scenes. Like some of those scenes in the pilot, there's a scene, I don't know if it's episode 3 or something where I say, you got me going into that bank looking like Boo Boo the Fool.
Was it Boo Boo the Clown or was it?
No, it's Boo Boo the Fool.
Yeah.
And she says because basically all the money was gone and he didn't tell her he used it for the club.
Right.
So that was really interesting that you watch that because when I see it, I'm looking at this version of myself, I don't know, it's like a decade ago, pre-having a baby, pre-being married, pre-me being locked up, Tasha is not really locked up. For those who are watching this, Naturi is free. Tasha is not, but it went sec. But it's interesting because it's been a long journey. So when I look back at those shows and look at how small he used to be,
I was literally
he was smaller than me. Remember, you guys used to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be taller than you," and we used to see who's the tallest. And I was like, "You're gonna be taller than me in a year," and look at what happened.
We should have did Michael's when you write the thing at Steiner Studios of Michael growing up there.
Oh, we should have totally did that.
That would have been so dope.
Like the kids, how you go to an old house and you see it happened really fast, but
So let's start from the beginning, from your acting, how you got into it, and then we'll kind of get into Power and the
sure
stuff like that. So
because the people gotta know.
Yeah,
people gotta know the origin story of everything.
Oh,
they gotta know. They gotta know the story of everything.
Okay.
So how young were you when you're like, okay, I want to do this, or this could be a career for me?
How young was I? Well, I started as a singer.
Yeah, it was music first.
Yeah,
music first.
I was always a musician, a singer, an artist, and I was 5 years old. I started singing in my church. Everybody was like, you should definitely do music.
Right.
But I was obsessed with Whitney Houston, so I was like, I want to be a singer, actress. Bodyguard inspired me so much. So for me, I was always looking at my career I could do it all. I never wanted to be one-dimensional. I wanted to be a triple threat, so thank God I am. Yes. And so I guess around 5, and then I started doing, talent shows. I started singing the national anthem at the New Jersey Nets. By the way, guys, Brooklyn Nets used to be the Jersey Nets for all those who don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jers, East Orange, what up?
That's where you're from? You're from?
Yes, born and raised. Nice. So, I feel like Michael's like, I know your whole life story. But yeah, so I come from Jersey, and then I sang the national anthem for a New Jersey Nets game, and somebody heard me, and then they asked me to try out for a girl group. And the girl group was at the time called Little Women, and then I got a record deal for 3LW with Sony Epic. Wow. 15.
Damn.
That's crazy. Yeah. I'm just now realizing that 3LW is 3 Little Women. I'm so slow.
Whoa.
I'm just now recognizing.
A lot of people people were late to that, and I'm like, hello?
I just like because it just rolls off the tongue like 3LW. It just sounds like so. I just never really thought of like what it would be. It just sounded so good. So
you know what's funny? The only
3LW.
reason we came up with 3LW is because we couldn't call ourselves Little Women because of the book, and there's a movie. Right. You know, Little Women was so iconic. So then there was like rights issues. So then the label was like, you know, you got to figure it out because one of our first posters was actually 3 Little Women before we came out, and then we changed it to 3LW.
That's fine.
3LW.
Right.
Which is way cooler anyway.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah, it was like,
3LW sounds fine.
So yeah, and then we got a record deal, and then I literally left high school. I didn't even finish. I finished sophomore year, and then I was on the road.
You were like,
all my friends were like, wait a minute, are you going to go to calculus with us?
Nah,
I
gotta go sing. I gotta go to the studio.
I'm about to be on a TRL tour with Eve and Nelly and the St. Lunatics.
But let me know how fifth period goes.
Yes. See ya. No, it's dope.
That's awesome. So then, how long were you touring? How long were you doing all that until you kind of really maybe got into acting, or maybe someone approached you? Yeah,
so I did stuff with the group, 3LW, and then I was touring like for years, most of my teenage years, and then like I graduated from high school through like SYP, which is called School for Young Performers. It's basically a tutoring program. I'm sure you know about it. I had to be tutored to finish school. I didn't get to like go to graduation. I missed my prom.
Yeah, I ain't go to no prom.
Yeah, I'm like really bummed about it.
But I never had my own graduation.
Yeah, and you're still like you're young. Like you still did you get to go to a prom though?
Yeah, I've been to 2
for somebody else's, right?
Yeah, I've been to 2
Michael's
proms.
everyone's dream prom date.
I mean, you could still go to prom like right now.
I went to Lala's niece's prom. Actually.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I went to Lala's niece's prom.
Oh, y'all look dope. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
She was looking wavy.
I saw that, and I was like, yes, and yes.
Yeah, it was fine.
But no, so I didn't get to do any of those things. So after touring, I got into acting later, like maybe, I don't know, in my early 20s. I was auditioning for a musical, Hairspray, while I was in college.
It's Broadway, right?
Yes.
On Broadway? Yeah.
So I booked that, and I was like 22 years old.
Oh, so you did a Broadway run. That's incredible.
Yes, of course, for 3 years.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Look at that. We're discovering so much about each other.
Yeah.
That's actually where I kind of segued into acting. Because I always tell people, like, theater is the best place to learn how to do it all.
When you do theater, like, you really got to learn how to just not be afraid to try shit. Like, you really have to just step out of your comfort zone.
And there's a live audience there.
Exactly.
And they're not going to lie to you. If the shit ain't funny, it ain't funny. Oh, excuse me.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
That's why we like the podcast. We can say whatever we want.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah, no, you're good.
But if it's not good, you don't get the reaction. If it's good, you get the. So a live audience is a good telling, way to know if your art is good.
Right.
And Hairspray was my first big gig, and I left college. I'm actually a college dropout, guys. I never told anybody this. But yes, college dropout. But I left school not with the intention of dropping out. I actually left junior year. I was straight A student, top of my class. I was going to be a lawyer. I went to school for political science, random information. I should have represented myself as Tasha. Maybe my case, because Davis McLean is so shady that maybe I would have been okay if I had repped myself. But anyway, in real life, though, I actually thought about being a lawyer.
So this was after you toured?
Yeah.
You wanted to be a lawyer?
I was back in college, and people were like, weren't you the girl that was just driving the BMW, on No More video? And I was like, yeah, but it wasn't my car. I'm totally broke. But that's also the sad part of the music industry. Right. I didn't make the money that people thought I made, and I didn't have anything. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a house. I was back in East Orange living with my parents, literally while the song was the number one on the TRL countdown, number one on 106 in Park. We were all over the world, but I had $10,000 to my name.
It's so
that
crazy.
Goes to show how much the music business changed throughout the time.
Yeah.
Now it's artists it's so easy for artists to get control of
their own shit.
Their own shit.
It was all labels.
Well, it's a lot more independent.
Yeah, independence. Yeah.
Back then, you couldn't put
now streaming services, TuneCore, stuff like that.
You got to have a label. At that time, you were okay, so.
All right, let's take a quick little break from this episode. Let's talk about our friends at MoneyLion.
MoneyLion.
They've been rolling in, bro. The money's been rolling in. We got a lot of money coming.
People are signing up, so you know what that means? More money in the jar.
Money. Yeah, how much money we got in the jar so far?
I think it's about we got a couple of thousand more. We put in our
10 bands, and we put in our 10 bands, 5, and then we got a good amount of sign-ups so far. So,
well, guess what? We're giving out money today.
Oh,
we promised we were giving out money.
We are giving out.
We're going to be giving out money to people who sign up. Make sure that they have their RoarTag. So we're excited to start giving out some money to you guys.
Yes, sir. right, so yo, bro, who's the first winner? Who's the first lucky person to get some bread from us?
The first person ever on the Crew Has It to get some money from MoneyLion is RoarTag RayBro49. Interesting RoarTag, but you just won $175.
Yes, sir, my boy. So you could go get some kicks, you could get some gas for your car, go get some, groceries, whatever you want to do. Make sure you spend it wisely.
Dude,
but at the end of the day, MoneyLion got you.
You get $170 from MoneyLion. You get 20. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie, it's a good feeling, right?
We do that every time we give out some money to people.
Damn, I gotta load my shit up a little more. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, yo, Mike.
Yo.
Who we got next?
Clutch. He won $200.
$200?
200 beans. Like, hold on. Gotta make it rain for the boy. Listen, man.
Thank you, MoneyLion.
Listen, man, we giving back to the supporters, man. So we got two winners out the way. Who's our third right
Our
now?
third one is MG Kimby with $185.
Okay. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I feel like MoneyLion's kind of like our sugar daddy. They're like, if we just want some shoes, Pop. Like, I'm going shopping.
They're like, here, we got you. Shout out to MoneyLion.
So we got 4 winners, Mike. We got 2 left. Who's next?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This winner right here, he got the bag.
Well, how much?
$230, man. Capital P861, $230, man.
Bro!
He's running it up, bro. He's running it up. All right, so this is our final winner.
Uh-huh.
Brown Skin Tea.
Ooh, damn, she's on fire. How much she win?
She won $210. I ain't gonna lie, they really running it up, bro. Yeah. First week? Damn.
And MoneyLion is the best app for the money. If you want to, invest, if you want to budget, you want to do
save, anything you want to do when it comes to money, use MoneyLion.
And make sure you download the MoneyLion app and use the promo code The Crew Has It. We're giving out free money, baby. It didn't work.
So anyway, that situation taught me a lot. But after I left school, I did Hairspray. Best decision of my life, by the way. I love theater, for all you theater kids out there. And
I was
just
gonna say, was it nerve-wracking like the first time you stepped into it? Like,
oh, very.
Yeah.
Like the very first time the curtain came up, I never forget.
Oh, yeah.
My opening night was April 6, 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was 2004. And I remember seeing all those people in the lights. Something like, your heartbeat pounding. It's different because I knew you can't really mess up.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I gotta hit these marks. And then there's props moving. And so it was definitely like a learning experience, but it was the best way to think on your feet. So if you want to be able to improv, if you want to be able to do things, theater's the best way.
That's a massive.
And that's actually without an agent. I got that job without an agent.
Oh, that's fine.
Without a manager. My ex-boyfriend had submitted my picture and resume at the time, and Bernard Telsey Casting called me in for an audition, and I got it.
That's
Damn, that is so
I
dope.
really wasn't even a real actress at the time. I had no agency.
Right.
That's crazy. So,
and
no prior experience really either, right? Before that.
Not really. I had more experience on stage, performing. And the one thing I learned as a singer is kind of similar.
Right.
Not for everybody, but I would say as an actress, you can segue your art as a performer and singing into what you do as an actor. Because a lot of it takes the same vulnerability, it takes the same openness, and performing a song, you think about it, it's like a monologue. It just happens to have a melody. It's the same thing.
And it's a little easier to remember.
I mean, I'm really good at memorizing my lines. I can memorize probably anything you show me right now.
That's crazy.
I will remember things when I leave here. It's so weird. I have a photograph. Omari had that too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I can see it in my head, but melody has an interesting way. Even in lines, if you say if you have a long speech, make it a melody and be I'm tired of you, ghost. Cheating on me. I'm about to leave. Whatever it is, if you think of it as melodic, you can probably master it.
I think that's why, when I was young and I was filming my Italian movie, I think that's why it was easy for me to learn the lines, because it was like speaking the language was kind of like a. It kind of felt like I was singing. It felt like I was just it was like a rhythm. And then I come from playing piano, so it was just rhythm and just
I don't know. You play piano?
Yeah, I used to play a lot. When I was little, I learned.
You have perfect piano hands. Can y'all zoom in on this man's hands?
Michael's got great hands.
He's got great hands.
I don't even got the fresh manicure right now.
But
for
these
people that
hands are piano hands.
Full Italian. He's fluent in Italian. People don't know that.
No, I do. He did a whole movie.
Crazy.
But I've never, Can you give us a little something? What would you say to a girl if you was trying to holler at her in Italy?
You see a nice little Staten Island Italian girl? I'm the girl. What do you guys
Okay, let's do it.
I don't think I could look at you and do it, but I mean, you gotta be like, ciao bella, come stai? Like, how you doing, beautiful? You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta be like, feel me? She gonna say whatever. Like, you gotta let her know you speak Italian, but feel me?
Oh, you speak Italian? Keep going.
So I really do speak Italian, but I forgot a lot of words. So I'd be like, posso parlare un po' di italiano, però ho dimenticato un po' di parole. And it means like, I forgot a few. I could speak Italian, but I forgot a few things.
So you know a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That blows my mind. I took Italian for like 2 years.
Well, she's already like into it. I love it.
Okay, I'll go home with you.
I know. Who wouldn't, right? No, but that's really dope to pick up a language, and that, like you said, Italian kind of helps you understand your lines, because like everything is rhythm.
Right.
Everything.
Everything is rhythm.
So yeah.
So then after Broadway, was there more music, or you just kind of pivoted totally into acting?
I wanted to do more music. I'm actually like doing more music now again. I'm like
love that.
Music has kind of like always been a through line. Even like the movies and shows that I happen to book always have some form. Like even the show I just did, music. For some reason, people think I'm a rapper. And like, I've been Lil Kim, I've been Jill the Thrill. I'm literally always doing something musical. Right. So I guess that means that music is always going to be kind of a part of my life.
Music is following you.
But after Hairspray, I was kind of like bruised by the music business. I mean, to be honest, the whole situation with the group, it left me scarred. So I was like, I am done with the music business. I am so like not trying to do it. So then I was like, I'm gonna be a full-blown actor, like, because they actually get paid on time. There's rules. I was like, there's a union. The SAG protects them. I felt like as a musical artist, no one protects young artists. Like they claim that there's hours, nobody cares. You could be in a studio working your ass off, nobody cares. You could like work overtime, like nobody. I mean, I'm not trying to say nobody cares, but that's just how it was for me. I'm not saying that that's the way it is now. But anyway, so I was like, I'm gonna be an actor because I really enjoy making people react, the feeling that people get when you do a scene. So, I wound up getting an agent who saw me in Hairspray, and they were like, there's this movie about Biggie Smalls that they're doing called Notorious, and you know, I'm gonna audition. And I was like, to play who? And they were like, you're gonna audition to play Lil Kim. And I was like, what? Me? I'm very confused because I went to Catholic school. I'm like a totally different, and I had never rapped before in my life, like ever. I was a singer. So you know how like singers look at it as like, I'm a singer, I don't rap. And then I realized rapping takes a lot more breath control, a lot more work. I had a whole nother respect for rapping after I did it. I was like, this shit is hard. Right. But yeah, so then my agent made me go to the audition, and I sucked. I actually sucked in my first audition.
So you bombed the audition completely?
Oh, it was terrible. I mean, I don't know about bombed, but for some reason they saw something in me. I'll be honest. The casting directors, Twinkie Bird and Wendy McKenzie, here in New York, I go in, then they're like, can you do a verse, I think it was All About the Benjamins, wanna rumble with the B, huh? Throw a hex on the whole family. And I didn't know it that well. I was like, I knew the song, but I didn't know all the like cadences, and I didn't have the voice. And I had a much higher pitched voice back then, by the way. Like, I sound more womanly as we grow. But I used to talk like, oh my gosh, like I was on Broadway. And so I was like, when I rumble with the B, huh? And I was like, no, that's not it. I'm gonna have to bring it down. So then they saw something in me and were like, okay, your acting is really good, but we can work on it, because you can teach anybody anything if they're willing to learn. So the casting director was like, we're gonna work with you, go home, practice, let's learn these rhymes, deepen your tone, get nasty with it, because I'm very conservative. A lot of people think I'm like wild and crazy and sexual because they watch Power, and I'm like, I'm really not. All them sex scenes were very hard for me, people. But and then I came back and I killed the second audition, and they were like, all right, we're gonna do a chemistry read and then a camera test. I went through like 4 auditions to get that part.
So it was an acting scene, and you had to rap. You had to do both.
Multiple acting scenes. I had 3 like very pivotal acting scenes, and then 2 raps, All About the Benjamins and Get Money.
Damn.
And Get Money was really fun. I wound up, that became like one of the iconic scenes, by the way, that almost got cut from the movie. A lot of people don't know that. George Tillman Jr., shout out to George, our director. And we work with George, George Tillman. So George calls me and was like, they are saying we're not going to have time to shoot that scene. Like the big performance scene with Kim and Junior Mafia, Get Money, you know, was huge.
Right.
And they said that we had to keep our days. We were over, you know how it is.
Yeah.
So basically, it was like, we can't, you know, do this to the crew, the time. If we get to do it, you're going to have to get it in one take, Naturi, and live. And it's an entire performance. So he had 4 cameras, like one behind, like one aside. It was so many cameras. And I was like, I can do it. I'll do it. I was like, please don't cut the scene. Because the network, I mean, not the network, the studio, Fox Searchlight was like, we just don't have time.
Right.
And I was like, just give me like one take. And I did that whole thing all the way through in one take with a mic live.
And they used the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Crazy.
Became one of the scenes that literally to this day, when she's like spreading her legs in this bikini and I'm walking around, and we shot that at the Highline Ballroom. It was a bunch of fans, like actual real Biggie fans were in the audience. They went crazy. I actually started feeling like I was like transcending. Because it was very iconic. But the fans went, they were like, that's really Kim right there, Little Kim. And, you know, much respect to Little Kim. I never try to step into big shoes. She's an icon. I have nothing but love. And I've always respected her. So to me, I just wanted to give it all I had. So that one take was like my one chance. Like Eminem says, you got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. My first movie. And that was it.
That's incredible. Did you ever talk to Kim, like when you were prepping
I wanted
for the movie?
to, yeah. I tried to. I wanted to talk to her. I think there was like a lot of lines crossed with her manager, and then production. They said there was different emotions surrounding it.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's hard when you have someone playing you, but I didn't get a chance to talk to her, but I did a lot of research. I studied her. I wanted to make sure I had the cadence, her walk, her movements. I worked with choreographers and different things. Like every little move was just about flair and sexiness, and that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to make her vulnerable because she wasn't just a rapper. She was a human being. So I have fun.
That is awesome. So then any projects leading up to when Power happened, or you heard about Power, or... You did stuff
there's a long road to get to Power because Lil Kim, Notorious was 2009, and that was it's been like what year is it?
13 years.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. 22,
That's crazy. Not that many. Was it 20? What year is it now?
It's 2022.
Oh, it's 2022. Yeah, I was like, wait.
It wasn't 22 years.
I was like, 22 years ago, I'd be 50.
2022.
I was like, whoa. No, but it definitely makes me realize how much work I had to do. And this is for all the people who, you know, when you watch a podcast like this, you got to know, like, we didn't just get here. Like, sitting here, talking to Michael and Gianni, like, oh, I'm honored. and I'm sure you guys feel the mutual love back to me, because at the end of the day, we all had to fight to be where we are. So my journey, a lot of sacrifice. My journey was after that, I decided to drive my car from Jersey. I used to live in Jersey, like I said, with my parents. I drove across country with my boyfriend at the time, and I decided to move to LA.
Smart. I love LA.
Yeah. I don't. I hate it. That shit is mad whack. LA is only good when you're young and you first get there.
Right.
Try 7 years. I lived there for 7 years.
I've been there about 8 now, and I still love it. But I do 6 months here, so I kind of get like.
So you're kind of really bi-coastal, which is really
6 months.
dope.
6 months exactly.
Okay, well then I guess that's kind of okay.
You get a break from LA.
I tried to do it like that, but then it was just too hard physically. But anyway, so I moved to LA, and I was like, ooh, I'm in LA. I got a movie. I'm about to kill it, y'all.
Yeah.
And then I booked Fame, a movie called Fame, a remake of the iconic movie with Irene Cara. So I did that, and it was MGM. So I'm thinking like, oh, I've made it.
Right.
It wasn't really like that. It was like, oh, in silence.
Right.
So you know how that is. And as actors, we have to know that sometimes you have a hot moment, a hot season.
Right.
And then a chilled out, cool season. So that's when I started really like working on my craft. I was actually writing a pilot. I was like, studying. I wanted to be a director. I was taking classes, even acting classes. I was still in acting classes throughout my I took Ivana Chubbuck classes in LA.
That's what Meth did too. Yeah.
And it was good for me because when I got my chance, I wanted to be ready. I didn't want to be like, oh, here's your opportunity, and then I'm like not measuring up to it. So LA was cool. It was good. It did what it's supposed to do, but I didn't work for like 2 years, and that was a challenge. I had a little bit of a state where I was a little depressed, I think,
it
or just
happens.
emotionally, because
Yeah.
I felt like everything I got close to was like, oh, you're not this, you're, too dark, or you're not dark enough. If it's for the African, you're not African enough, you're not this enough. And if I was
Always
playing,
some bullshit
it's
like
always
that.
something like,
Always some bullshit
and it's
like
like, well, the role literally said short, petite black woman, I'm me,
Right,
but
right.
then they're like, we went in a different direction. She's 5'10" and curly hair.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, that's just the business though. Like that's what we deal with. And I think I had to learn the hard way. Like it doesn't just happen overnight. And so I started just like studying my craft and waited for other things did pop up in between, like Mad Men, the Playboy Club.
Right.
I did a lot of period pieces, which was really cool. Mad Men was a huge deal because it was like a hit show at that time.
How many episodes did you do, Mad Men?
Just one.
Oh, nice.
Just
But
one guest star. But I was the first African American who was cast in a non-service role. Like all the roles were maids or, like workers.
Right.
And I was a love interest. They had never had like a black woman be that.
Yeah.
For Lane Price, I was a Playboy bunny. And then I got the show, The Playboy Club. So different things happened, but they just kept getting canceled.
Yeah.
Like I did a show with Jennifer Love Hewitt called The Client List on Lifetime. Really fun. Just didn't last for more than like 1 or 2 seasons. I think I did 1 season, and different things in LA were coming together, but they couldn't stick. And that was kind of stressful because I was like, I just need one job because it's not always about the actor, it's about the producers,
Of course.
the writers, like the whole package. And I was in my apartment. I had a 1-bedroom apartment in North Hollywood. I'll never forget my agents calling me. He was like, there's this show that 50 Cent is doing.
50 cents?
50 Cents?
Or they try and be cool, like Fitty. Like 50 Cent. It's like, all right.
That one always
Yeah.
annoys me.
Yeah.
Like,
50 Cent.
please don't
Yeah.
call me
Say 50,
Fitty.
just
All
say
right,
50.
Brandon. All right, relax. Okay. Yeah.
50
That's really funny.
Just call him
Yeah.
Curtis, okay?
Yes,
What do we got?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's actually hilarious.
I know the episode's been great, but we got to shout out our friends at ViiaHemp. Dude, this season has been long and stressful, right? Like,
My blood pressure is like,
dude, he's got 19 love interests. He's stressed out. I'm stressed out. It's like, what
it's a lot
the
to
fuck?
juggle, man. It's a lot to juggle. It's tough.
So you know what you need is ViiaHemp. You got the CBD gummies, everything. If you wanna chill out, if you wanna be energized, if you wanna maybe fall asleep and pretend that you weren't hooking up with someone else, Michael.
What do you mean by that, bro?
No, I just mean like sometimes like you have girls come over at night and then the girl that you're talking to, you're just like, yeah, I fell asleep, but we all know you're not asleep. You took ViiaHemp.
I mean, listen, sometimes, like, you gotta just relax, bro. You can't use your energy all the time.
Right.
Just take a little ViiaHemp, kick back, throw the feet up, you know what I'm saying? Just maybe have her rub your tummy or something,
Right.
like have her like massage your hair or something.
I feel like you and I are like opposite sides of what ViiaHemp is. I'm flow state. I'm like, energy, this, that.
Yeah, I'm definitely cloud nine.
Yeah, you
bro.
cloud nine,
I'm definitely
you chill
cloud nine.
out.
I'm chill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A little THC in the mix. You probably don't got no THC in your mix. I got some THC in my shit.
Make sure you use the promo code CREW at ViiaHemp.com.
Get that
Support the
15%
boys.
off.
Help us keep the lights on. Help us,
Yeah, help us,
bring in
keep the
some fire
studio
guests.
afloat, you know what I'm saying? None of this shit is cheap, you know what I'm saying? We gotta,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Gotta get the lights, gotta get the cameras, gotta get the microphone, gotta get all of that.
And back to the episode.
So then I was like, 50s, since doing the show, and Courtney Kemp, David Noller at the time, Anthony Hemingway. I was like, ooh. And Vicky Thomas was casting it. And out of LA, I remember Vicky, I was so nervous. That audition also went kind of weird. My phone went off in my very first Power audition.
No way.
And Courtney was just like, it's okay, just get it and silence it. Like, I was this never happened. That's so unprofessional.
Yeah, I would've-
like, you know how that is.
Yeah.
I was like, who is
it's happened in our
calling me?
table reads sometimes. Like, people be pissed. It happened in our table reads. So
That
imagine
shit
in an
stressed me
audition,
out.
I'll be like, I'll be like,
No, because in an audition,
I would have
you're
did what Method Man
supposed
did. I would
to...
have left, came back, introduced myself again.
And
like,
started
how you
over. Actually, ironically, that's similar to like sort of what happened.
Really?
Not exactly that, but what happened was I was so nervous. I must have forgot to put my phone on silent. This is like when iPhones were like semi-ish still coming up.
Yeah.
So I must not have like silenced it. And then here it goes, ding, 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 like ringing or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And it was in a very important scene. So I had to like acknowledge it.
Do you remember what
'cause
scene it was?
No, I can't remember which scene Courtney might remember. But I just know it was like one of the original pilot scenes. So I'm like, I am so sorry, guys. Like, this never happens. I'm not unprofessional. So if you hire me, and they were like, no, it's fine, whatever. So I go, and then I was like, it's Leela Rashawn. Leela Rashawn is like iconic for Boomerang, and all these things. So that was just random that she was calling me at that very moment. Right. And so I silenced it, and they let me continue. But Vicky was like, you're nervous. Step outside. Take a deep breath. You are worthy. She was like, you deserve to be here. You're an excellent actress. She is such an amazing caster. I never forget Vicky Thomas. Shout out to Vicky because, and she's an African-American woman that's also short and petite, just like me. And I'm always like, yes. For the little people. And she just encouraged me and was like, you got this. She was like, just go in there and do you. You've got this. And so I took a deep breath. I was like all emotional because I felt like they were going to look at me the wrong way. And I came back in and I killed it. Like I killed that audition enough till I got the call back. And I remember like the camera test or the chemistry read with Omari. He and I were doing it. Anthony Hemingway was there. Everyone was there. And he tried to walk away from me or something or grab and I grabbed and I was like, you will listen to me. Like very Tasha. And I just remember going it was like a outer body experience.
Yeah, you just did some shit
because I was like, exactly.
Right? In it.
Because I wasn't afraid. And if you want it, sometimes you have to be fearless.
You just have to do shit.
So that chemistry test with me and Omari was like, the game changer, and they called me an hour later. And I got it. Yeah, that was the fastest I ever. I literally, but the funny thing was, I had auditioned, and then 3 months went by, and I was like asking my team, like, what's going on? They were like, oh, you read too young, you're not gonna get it. And I was like, I can look older. I can be older. So I actually didn't get Power at first. They told me that they wanted to, I don't know if you even know this, they wanted a more, mature woman because my son was gonna grow, and they said I was too young to have a 13 or 12-year-old son.
Yeah, because Courtney talked about this
originally,
last
I think Tariq was supposed to be like 15.
Yeah, initially in the script, that's
originally
right.
He was supposed to be 15.
He was. They brought him down so that you and Rainey, because it's twins, were like 12 or 13. But initially it was like, now Naturi, can you have a 15-year-old? No. I was 29 at that time. So I was like, okay, well, I'm still going to just try to look older. So they told me like, oh, you just look too young. And I was like, all right, cool. You want body, you want maturity, I'm going to give you all of this. And I beat my face. I brought these little girlies out. I had a
that's
white...
your mom, Mike. Chill out.
I know. But hey, he ain't blind. He know what it is. No, I'm just playing. But it was an all-white dress, like the Tom Ford dress that I wore in episode 1. I bought an all-white Hervé Leger. No, actually it was BCBG. But it was like a bandage dress with these white heels. And I had got a wig. I did my makeup, and I tried to look like a little bit more mature,
godly.
And I came in that room, and I was like, because I was 29, but I was like, okay, you want 35, I'm going to give you as best I can. Right. And they were like, okay. And then they changed the character for Tasha to be younger.
Courtney talked about that when she came on. She literally said that they...
Thank God she gave me a chance.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Then it doesn't happen every day.
That goes to show what you brought to, the audition. That they literally changed because they're like, we need...
We need it.
Thank you. No, it was, but I'm so blessed because I needed that job. And I also didn't realize at the time how it would change my life forever. Right. Like, I moved back to Brooklyn. Yeah.
That job needed you because
crazy.
Nobody else could have been
Tasha.
It's hard as an actor.
My son.
Of course.
It's hard as an actor to not put your self-worth into what you're doing in your career.
That's
so
good.
It's why it's like I'm depressed, I wasn't working, and it's like it's so hard to be like, I'm not working, like I'm
still the bomb.
Right. It's
because you start that's a very good point. You do start second guessing yourself. You start feeling like, well, if I'm so dope, why isn't anybody trying to hire me?
But there's maybe not the right roles, or it's so out of your control. But like then obviously Tasha came along and like, oh no, they changed the script to make it work.
But isn't that crazy? But again,
it doesn't happen.
Look at God.
Yeah.
And the fact that the creators have to believe in you. Like, just like I said with Lil Kim, I wasn't a rapper when I didn't come into the audition like perfect. Right. But a lot of times casting directors, creative people, producers, writers, if they're good, they are creative enough to be like, all right, let me squint. I could kind of, because you have to, everybody doesn't walk, I wouldn't have ever thought Denzel Washington would be Malcolm X. Right. Like, I never would have, like growing up when I saw Malcolm X and I was like, oh shoot. I mean, he's like 3 shades darker, totally different look, but he literally is the only person I can imagine.
Right.
He transcended like, you know, that role, like he went into it where you believe he was Malcolm. Yeah. So I took Tasha on and Lil Kim in every role, like, all right, let's just go hard.
Yeah,
I go hard or go home. And I moved to Brooklyn, and that was the end of my LA days. And I was like,
do you remember the call specifically, what they said, what your reaction, where you were?
The exact call, I was coming down, you know where, so I was driving from the audition, the camera test, the read or whatever, and I was on Highland Boulevard, like coming around, you know where you're trying to get on to get back, because I lived in the valley, so I had to
you go on the highway
to get to the 101 to take to the 170. I know
exactly where that is.
So I'm on Highland Boulevard, and I'm coming around. I'm driving in my little car that I drove from Jersey, and then they were like calling me, and I was like, "Hey, it went pretty well." They were like, "Yeah, I think it did go pretty well. You just got the part for Tasha St. Patrick," and I was like, ah. And I'm driving, like trying not to have an accident. I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? What?"
I would have been going like 300 miles an hour.
No, like literally, but LA traffic stopped me from doing that. We all know LA traffic sucks.
Right.
But anyway, so when I got it, I was like, oh my gosh, like finally, I was crying in that car. Right. And I was by myself just thinking, this is finally the moment where it kind of validates all the hard work, all the struggle, moving away from my family. I had no one in LA. I didn't even know anybody. Right. Like I didn't have someone to be like, can you help me out? I got my own apartment. I figured out how to get across country. I had, you know, made like 1 or 2 friends. But the truth is, like, I finally felt like it was all worth it. The struggle was real, but it was all worth it.
I love that.
The struggle is always worth it, man.
Yeah.
It builds character, it teaches you a million lessons, and it just gets you ready for the stage.
Yeah.
Get you ready for the stage.
And you know, it's not always easy, but
Never easy.
So that changed my whole life. Like literally changed my whole life.
That is so dope. So then how much longer after that was your first day on set, or like you remember
so that
table
was
read?
2013. I feel like, I don't know when, because like we started shooting 2014. I got the part in the end of 2013, but we didn't start shooting, I feel like, until 2014, maybe?
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember, or maybe it was 2013.
I think it was 2013.
Right?
It was
Okay.
2013.
So when I got the part, they were like, okay, you got to move to Brooklyn. And I was like, okay, cool. Trying to figure out where I'm going to live. But it took maybe 2 or 3 months before my very first day on set. I feel like it was November 13th or November something, 2013, right?
Yeah, because that was usually the power schedule, November to...
Yeah, we used to shoot in the dead of winter.
Yes.
And then we would air in the summer. And I was always irritated about that.
I ain't gonna lie, I think I like that schedule.
Yeah. You liked it because you ain't had to be walking around with no clothes on. I was wearing bustiers with no coat because we couldn't wear fur at that time. And I was cold as shit. And I'm like, damn.
I know, we used to have to walk from hair and makeup in stage 1 across the lot to stage 13 where Choate was. We would have to walk through the snow. I'm like, this is a nightmare.
Crazy.
Yes.
But that was weird too. And our schedule was so weird. We film in the summer, and we're wearing fur jackets in 80-degree weather.
Well, now we're wearing Montclairs in June.
Yes. Tell the people. Right. Now we're wearing Montclair.
I know, this is bullshit. It's bullshit.
Complaining about wearing Montclair.
Complaining about Montclair.
The Rolex was so cold on my hair.
It's like these red bottoms hurt my feet in the snow.
All right, I deserve that.
Yes, you set yourself up. I'm like, come on.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me on that.
I had to, but no, we are very grateful and very blessed because at the end of the day, we walked to a job in the cold.
In the cold.
But I do remember shooting in I feel like back then, remember how power winters were worse? I feel like winters were worse then. I mean, winter's bad now, but maybe it just because
I'm not gonna lie. Back then, winters were blistering.
We were
cold,
actually in
sleet.
Real sleet, snow, and still shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for Joe. Joe Shakur had all the outdoor scenes with the Mustang.
Outside.
Thankfully, Tasha was a wife and a mother. I was indoors most of the time.
Too much. He wasn't running the streets
if I did run the streets, I had a cute little something, but it was hard. But I do feel like when we started, 2013, we shot only 8 episodes because we didn't get picked up for 10, or it wasn't a 10-episode order. We were a new show, so we were the tiny little underdogs. Right. And I think Starz, which way before Lionsgate and all that, didn't know what this could be. They were like, all right, well, let's see if this is going to work. They really didn't. Except for 50, because 50 always knew. If he was here, he'd be like, I knew. I always said, didn't I say 7 seasons? I said we going 7 seasons. That's literally what he would say. So much respect, because he's right. Because everything happened. And Courtney, too, she had the vision. But at the time, I was like, all right, let's do it. I didn't know what it could be, but I always felt like something about the energy that Omari brought, that you brought, that like the family, Joe and Leela, like it was kind of like this little small, intimate family. Right. And we were slowly touching people, like with our stories. Yeah. And season 1 was not so much like a huge success. Season 2 was like, all right, we're building steam. By season 3.
Oh, man.
We could not walk the streets. Like, it was a whole...
It was over with.
It was a wrap.
Season 1 and 2, like, I could get away with telling people I'm not Tariq from Paolo. Like, like, are you Tariq from Paolo? I was like, nah, I get that a lot, though. Season 3, though, it was over.
No,
They'd be like, you Tariq from Paolo? I'd be like...
And they don't, they were like angry at different things that he was doing, that I was doing. A lot of season 1 and 2, I got a lot of flack. Tasha specifically, because they were like, you just a gold digger. You don't believe in ghosts. You don't stand up to him. Like, he's trying to expand himself. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, but I'm here. I'm here.
Like, I don't write the show.
I was like, I'm just playing the character.
Right.
But Tasha, in the end, was always the one who supported Ghost, got him out of jail, protected his kids, protected her kids and his kids, protected him, and in the end, tried to save his life in different ways. I didn't want him, to get killed by his son, but, things had to happen the way they happened. But the stories were so good that people started creating their own worlds, like the Power Saturdays or Power Sundays, whatever day we came on. I think we started on Saturday.
We did start on Sunday.
Then we moved to Sundays.
Was it Saturday?
We used to be on Saturday. I'll never forget, June 7th was our premiere, because I have the poster.
It is
June 7th on Saturday, but then we moved to Sundays. I feel like that became like our thing. Then people started doing parties. Power parties.
Watch parties and stuff.
This was pre-pandemic, when everybody would get in groups and be like, yo, you coming to my house?
Yep.
Power Sunday, it's a wrap. Lit. And 9 o'clock, it was on and popping.
Hell yeah.
So
I would never forget the first day on set. Like, the first day I walked on set, I was so amazed, bro. Because, like, obviously, like, I have experience.
I know. How old were you?
I was 12. I was 12. I was 11 turning 12, I think. Yeah, 11 turning 12. And, like, I just walked on set. And obviously, like, I have experience. Like, I've filmed on the studio. I've done, like, green screen, crazy cool shit. Like, for my first movie, Naturi Naughton, I was, like, doing green screen swimming shit. Like, all type of cool shit. But, like, bro, I got to Steiner Studio, bro. I walked into the penthouse, bro.
That penthouse
I was
beautiful.
like, yo, what?
Yeah, that was your first scene in the penthouse.
Literally my first scene. And then
me too.
And then like, we was just chilling that day on set. Like, we were just chilling on the couches, like, just relaxing. Like, it literally felt like we was just...
cooking bacon and eggs.
Yes. That's exactly what it was.
I was always cooking.
Yes, Uncle Tommy was in there.
Uncle Tommy came, and he always eating my food.
Yep, exactly. I remember that day, like, vivid. Like, for some reason, like, the chemistry just clicked. Like, the first scene we did, I was just like,
but the dopest thing is our table reads.
Yes.
Chemistry and energy.
Oh, I miss him so much.
Man, the table reads are the best.
Please, we have to bring table reads back.
I was in awe. Because...
Isn't it amazing?
Like, when Jerry was there, you were there, 50, Omari.
And then you got Shane, he's like narrating everything.
My mouth was on the floor at Steiner, like my first episode. I was like, oh my God.
And then like when you see like certain people like hit like certain like lines, and then like you see like a producer or like a director like look at someone and they're like, oh yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
you get the it's almost like live theater.
Yeah, exactly. You get
just
reaction.
Like a play. Reading it in a table read setting gives off a play energy because even the producers or the writers maybe take notes. They're laughing. They're like, oh, that was actually something I didn't expect to go that well.
Right.
I love that.
And you can improv. I feel like, the industry is changed, but I think we should fight for it to come back.
Yeah,
because fighting for actors, for me, I believe in the creative process. If you don't give actors the creative process, you're not getting all of what they can give you.
Right. Yeah,
you might get these lines and it'll be good enough, but table reads and rehearsals and director rehearsals, it's literally breathing air into the characters.
Agreed.
And when we started Power, we had the chance to do that. That's what made it so special.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing.
The freedom they gave everyone like with just
to find your way
with their characters is just dope. Like everyone was just able to
shout out to Courtney and like all the writers. I just think about how even like what you said, changing the character. For me, I get emotional sometimes when I think about how Tasha was a godsend, not just financially, but like emotionally. And as an actor, I got to do so much, from being this badass, sexy, dressed to the nines woman to being like cornrows, lashes coming off in jail, to then coming out with sex, having a, stop you from killing your daddy. And then like all these things that happen, and even like me having to kill Lala, my best friend, Lakeisha.
Yeah, when you got
that
crazy.
Shit
were you
was,
like, fuck,
that was crazy.
I was very hurt.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for me. Like, and honestly, I even on the day, like having to shoot a gun at her,
it just feels weird.
It just feels really weird.
Even
and I was also like really frightened. Because I'm like, are y'all sure this gun is not gonna because like you can't play.
Not real shit.
Especially as you can see now, so many accidents on set have happened and we can't play like that. But it was emotional because Lala was, Tasha's best friend and also my friend from day one.
Right.
The day ones of this universe are something that I was still attached to. So even talking to Courtney and Gary Lynn, I was like, I'm having a hard time digesting this. And they were like, this is power. Like, this is unfortunately, the world. People were dying every day. Like the streets dying every day in LA. But no, like it was real.
In Steiner Studio.
I know. It was like, Steiner Studios.
Anyone was
like anyone could go.
Yeah, anyone at any time.
So for
Nobody
me,
was safe.
I was always like reading the scripts. Sometimes I would just be like, okay,
I'm good.
My name's still there.
I'm good.
Okay, now I'm gonna go back and read it because you often wonder, are you gonna be next?
Right.
And they used to say that like, who's next or something like that with power. So
there used to be the walk pre-pandemic. Courtney would call you to the office and you walk by all the power posters.
Yes.
I've heard the stories from people and they're like,
literally the power posters in the hallway, and then you go to the office and you're like,
what's up, Courtney?
Yeah. Whenever I was called to the office, I actually thought, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And it was.
I got called to the office, I think like once or twice, maybe like.
Yeah, me.
Like,
too.
Michael, stop bringing girls in your dressing room.
Yes. Yes, he think he grown now.
I will never forget one of my first table reads. Omari must have had a sex scene. I don't remember what it was, but he came in a robe.
I saw that. I remember that.
And 50 had the
megaphone.
The megaphone.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I remember him being like, "You're late, Omari," and then your chair was like, "Don't say that."
I do remember that he had a robe because he was coming from set.
Right.
Because we would do table reads in the middle of the day on lunch break, which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
But
I
we
would
did
have
it.
to do that last week.
Yep.
But me and Michael always loved the table reads because they would have the best food.
We had the food,
We
right? And we always sit next to each other too. We was right next to each other.
Did you get the shrimp?
The lobster.
Oh, you see the lobster?
You ain't get the chicken strips. Nah, you gotta go get the chicken. Yeah, nah.
You gotta try it. And then I would be like literally on set and lunch or different. He'd be like, "Oh, did you try to? Oh, them things was hitting like whatever it was."
I ain't gonna lie, we was the foodies on set.
We are the foodies.
You were a veteran, and then I remember like my first day, I had a plate. It was like this high, and then I came in, and Michael's like, "Yeah, no, this is what it's like." And I remember being like, "This is great."
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, bro,
I was filling my backpack. I'm like, "This is how it is."
We take a to-go plate too.
Yeah, no, for real.
We take
Like
two
your
home.
mama need to. Everybody need to eat.
Hell yeah, mama need to eat.
Shoot,
Everybody gotta eat.
We were actually kind of spoiled.
Yeah,
like,
we
were so spoiled. Now they be trying to give you these pre-packaged Lunchables,
Yeah,
and then hit you with
like,
and I'm like, stop doing this.
Don't do that.
Don't tell me what size chicken wing I need. I need 3. Like I don't appreciate that.
Well, think about what the show was doing for the network. Like it was blowing Starz up.
Yeah,
So
that's so true.
You gotta.
Thank you for saying that.
Give us some lobster. Give us the
Starz,
shrimp
we
and
need
lobster.
all of it. But Starz became an app. You know, it wasn't always an app.
Yeah, it was literally
regular
When we
network,
started, it was just Starz.
Right.
By the time season 3 or 4, maybe, it became the Starz app, right? And then it was like you can watch it, virtually or whatever on your, device.
And then you could get it, and you could watch it a day early. People was like, what?
When they
Saturday night,
started
Yeah,
that,
it
the
was
midnight
over.
Crazy.
on demand, people went crazy. I actually thought that was a bad idea at first. I was actually against it
because it was like
because I was
spoiled.
like, I didn't want people to spoil it.
Yeah,
but then I don't know. After a while,
I was like, what could you really do?
Right.
What could you really do?
and you can't contain excitement.
Yeah.
So the smartest thing to do was to build excitement.
Yeah, build it.
And by opening it up to people at midnight, they were like, "Well, I'm a midnighter." People would be like, "I'm a midnight watcher,
Early,
so
early,
I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys." And that just became a thing. So
you gotta love the people that watch it at midnight and still don't spoil it for the people that didn't watch it.
Yeah, that takes true commitment.
Gotta love them
Thank you
people.
guys
Facts.
for your patience.
Facts.
So what was your favorite scene you ever did? We ask everyone this. What was your favorite scene you ever did in Power? Or one that you just really remember was like special?
Yeah.
Or
I feel like, honestly, at the end of Power Season 6, when we were in Tasha's apartment, after the whole thing with Ghost, and they were trying to figure out who did it, and I'm in this white dress, like a Balmain dress. I look great. He's about to go, so amazing.
I look fire.
Yes. And then we're all, Baby Yasmin, I think, was there, and Tariq. I don't know who else was there, but I was like I think you were gonna go to school. We're talking about you going to college, and then the doorbell rings, eating breakfast, and then the cops come in and they're like, Tasha St. Patrick, you've been charged with the murder of James St. Patrick. Yeah. You're being arrested. And I was like, go to school, Tariq, go to school.
Tell them what really happened. Tell them, tell them that I did.
So we actually were, it was so emotional because it felt like the end of an era.
Right.
That was actually the last day of our filming.
Day.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't just the last scene.
Ending production on that scene.
That was a setup for Ghost.
Yeah, bro.
That was like the setup
scene. Right?
Yes.
No, it was. Yeah. And I was really crying.
That was the last day
He was like, Ma, just tell him, and it was emotional for Michael, but it was emotional for me. And I took them cuffs like a champ, and I was like, no, go to school.
Right.
Live your life. That scene to me felt like it was bigger than just a scene. I mean, also because I became a mother on this show.
Right.
I had I had a baby, season 4.
Shout out Zuri.
My daughter, shout out to baby Zuri. She's almost 5 now.
Yes, that's crazy.
She is. I remember I brought her to set.
Yes, she was chilling
and she just loved Michael.
She loved 50 too.
50 was holding her while we were shooting. My baby was there, quiet, and I was like, "That's a good baby. I trained her. She knows set life because she made no noise.
No noise at all.
But Zuri was just always around show business. She's probably going to be a bigger star than I ever could be. Mark my words. Remember, this crew has an interview in 10 years.
When you see baby Zuri going crazy.
Yeah, so that scene was as a mother, I felt the emotion. As an actress, I felt like I had come full circle. I had the work, the dream job where you get to do all these different, nuances and, highs and lows of a character. I also felt like for our journey as mother and son, it was deep. I watched him grow into a young man, and knowing that Ghost was coming, the show Ghost was coming, I was just so proud of him, and I'm still very proud of you. I just want to say that,
I appreciate you.
I'm proud of you too. But
listen.
But when you come up with someone and watching you just come into, it's not easy to step into this role. It's not easy to do this work. It's not easy showing up to work and killing it.
Right.
And you have really shined, and I just love you, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm
I said that last episode.
I feel like
I love you.
I feel like I birthed the son, just in a different way.
Literally watch him grow up and then become #1 in a show. That's big.
That's huge.
Insane.
So big ups to you,
Thank
Michael.
you, Mama. I
So
appreciate
proud.
you.
So that was my favorite and most emotional scene.
That was really crazy because we literally wrapped the whole entire series after that scene.
Everybody was crying.
We was crying. What? I was crying my eyes out
Sidebar
that
though,
scene.
the second to that, just real quick, I just want to say the scene in season 4, episode 6, I think it was called Keep Her. Anyway, I said keep fucking her to Ghost in the car. We're arguing, and Angela is a Fed, and I find out, and I'm like, all right, keep fucking her. And then I say, you're going to keep fucking that bitch until I tell you to stop. That is one of my favorite. Go back and watch that scene. You remember that scene? Because she's basically making a choice.
She's thinking about it
I'm not going to fight for my husband. I'm fighting for the family,
for
not
the freedom
to be
and
arrested,
everybody.
and for freedom.
Exactly.
And that to me was also one of my
That's
favorite
gangster.
scenes. So,
that's gangster right there.
Those are some of my tops.
Did you ever get in a script and be like, this is a little much? Like when he was I forget, what was the line we were talking about with Courtney last week?
Have some respect, Tasha. I just lost the love of my life.
Oh, which one?
When he was talking when Angela died, and he's like, have some respect. I just lost the love of my life.
Lost the love of my
did you ever
life.
read a script like, what the fuck?
Some of the stuff that he used to say, I'd be like, you do know I'm your wife. I understand we're estranged and all that, but I don't want to hear that shit. For real. But sometimes I would read, I guess like I said, the Lakeisha kill was a crazy, tough read.
That was hard to watch.
The Michael, the Tariq killing his father thing was hard for me.
Hell yeah.
Reading that and seeing how, even seeing the episode to this day, I imagine Omari, shout out to Omari Hardwick. He always I think shined in this role, and we could not be anything if it wasn't for
Agreed.
who
That's a
he
fact.
goes
Again,
with.
I watched the pilot the other night. He
murdered
was
that
so
role.
good.
That's the quarterback
Just
right
his
there.
facial expressions. His
face
eyes,
does so many
everything.
things,
Eyes.
right?
You don't have to say a
He don't have
word,
to
but
say
he would just be like,
nothing.
he just look and you could say 1,000 things without saying
I
anything.
big ups him because I actually became a better actor working with him. He used to keep me so on point and like low key like scared.
Right.
I mean, and I'm 10 years younger than Omari. So first day on set, he'd be like, "You got this, let's go." Like it was like football. And I was like,
he was really a quarterback. He was really the quarterback of the team.
He was. So I had to make sure I came ready. So that to me was one of the things that I enjoy. But some of those scenes, watching him kill his father, just particularly also as a young black boy, seeing that and a black father, it was hard for me. I was like, I don't want to see this happen. Yeah. But it's also the world that we created was it was cutthroat.
Yeah.
So
Omari definitely made he definitely made everyone around him, like every scene party he had, like even just like little shit, like I remember like I would be on set all the time, like this is when my waves was like spinning.
Oh, his waves
I would be
was
brushing
crazy.
my hair like all the time, no matter
How your
what
waves doing? Let me see your waves.
Now, right now I'm gonna cut my shit.
Oh, okay.
I can't even do that to
can't even
myself.
expose it.
I can't do that to myself. Right
I'll show you mine right here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see the finger waves.
Like literally, no matter what the scene was, like I would just be brushing my hair, and like I would be able to snap back into it, but like would just be like, "Stop brushing your hair, Rainman, stop brushing your hair. You're right. You got hair and makeup for that.
Yeah.
They make sure you look good. You look good already. You don't got to worry about it."
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then he's like, get in it. I'm like,
he was powerful.
Yeah, nah.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say? You were getting ready to say something.
No, Courtney. What was
Last week you said something that.
I don't know. We were talking something about before, but Courtney had brought up something with the and I'm forgetting.
The line was like, have some respect.
No, yeah, but whatever. It'll come back to me.
But so we had good times though. It was a lot of fun.
Man.
Yeah. Who was like one of your favorite people to work with? Obviously, besides Michael or Omari, or like what was someone you get to set and you're like, oh, I like that they died or this that. You're like, I wish they were there longer.
Well, they're still alive. I loved working. Well, it was also like a girl crush thing. Lorenz Tate.
Oh, the best.
Like, oh my gosh, Love Jones was my favorite movie. Like, no bullshit. When I heard Lorenz Tate was coming to Power.
Yeah. He came in season 4 or 3?
I think it was 4. I think it was 4.
I feel like it was 4. Whatever.
Whenever Ghost started like getting really deep into like the governor
political
shit, like the political shit, that's when it started.
Lorenz was someone I've always said if I could just like touch the hem of his garment because I've really loved him as an actor, but I was also like amazed by him. He's beautiful. He's aging backwards. His skin is flawless. And I was just like, if I could just be near him.
I gotta be like him.
And he's like a big brother to me, like obviously now, but I really liked him as an actor. And I used to have a huge crush on him. So working with him and then even seeing Tasha and Councilman Tate's like banter, I just love their like energy together. And I was really excited to work with him. Let me see. Let's see. Other guest stars. I mean, honestly, everybody that came to us. I mean, so many have died. But I was like,
I was literally showing the show. I was showing the show to someone a couple nights ago, and then I was like, oh, that person's dead. That person's dead.
Yeah, like when they
they're
killed Sinqua, this was like season 2. Sinqua Walls was another one who played Sean.
Right, Sean, yep.
Gosh, he was a good jump off for Tasha. He was a good side piece. Sinqua. He was a good side, and he became one of my closest friends. He was in our wedding. I just got married. Shout out to my husband.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes. I'm a whole wife now.
Shout out to 2.
Yes, my hubby to Lewis. So I'm a Lewis now. But yeah, so Sinqua at the time of shooting, I just felt like he was just somebody I missed having the energy on set. So when they kill people, it's not just the character, you kill the person.
Right, the whole person.
You lose a friend. And you're like, dang, I love like hanging out with you or having lunch with you or but fortunately the good thing, like with Lala, like I said, we all stayed friends.
Oh, it was her birthday yesterday too.
Yeah, shout out to Lala. Happy belated birthday.
You was busy though.
But yeah, she's
I love
like,
you so much.
She's amazing. And that to me is what made even Courtney, like I call her, we'll hop on a Zoom and she gives me advice even on another job.
Right.
Like after I kind of left.
That's why you gotta love Courtney, because like no matter what you're doing after the fact, like she's gonna be there for you.
Right.
She will consistently support you. She supported me not just as Tasha, as Naturi Naughton, the actor. When I booked Queens, I asked her, the show I did on ABC.
Yes.
It was like okay, let's talk about it and let's see what I was nervous to do another, something outside of Ghost and it was good. It was a good opportunity for me to show people that I can sing and dance and act and rap again.
You did a lot of shit.
I know. I was like, I was working hard.
Yeah. Did Tasha always have the singing aspect to her, or did Courtney go,
no,
Naturi can sing, let's put this in?
She definitely put it in.
Courtney always does that.
Which was always so cool. She was like, because I think I wound up singing in like season 1 or 2 at my Tasha's like birthday party.
Right.
I was singing to Ghost, Sweet Thing. And Tasha wouldn't have, if they cast an actor that didn't sing, what were they going to do?
Yeah, they're not going to throw that in.
But it was cool because that was one of Tasha's dreams, she to sing, and she went to, be an accountant at one point. So I think she always infused different realistic things in there.
Yeah, Courtney's so good at that.
She's the best at that. Like, she just feeds off of like what you're naturally doing as a person. Like, let me
which makes it organic for you, right?
And that's why people just gravitate towards all these characters.
She's a fucking genius. Literally a freaking genius. And everybody that we had on the Power team a lot of them have become family to me.
Right.
Like, I will never forget any, from down to the crew. The crew has it.
Yes, sir.
The crew has it, baby.
We had the best crew, Ghost crew, Power crew.
That is a
all
fact.
of the crews, like our camera, our DP, our directors.
Grip, everyone.
We are literally like, I think, in a world, in this bubble that you don't get as an actor. Like, I've done other shows. I just did one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What was it? Was the energy just different from, it always is. It always is.
Very different. Like I said, we were spoiled on Power.
Very spoiled. I mean, obviously, we filmed this show, 8, 9 years, 10 years, but like, even like when I was filming my Italian movie, I was living in Italy for a year and 2 months, and I was seeing the same people damn near every day for that whole time. And and it's nothing like near the same as just like the family, like the family energy that we get. Like on
my
the
show, other shows, it definitely feels a little bit more like, I don't know, you just at work.
It's just business. It just feels like, all right, business.
Like you're here to work.
That's how I felt when I was on Orange is the New Black. It was like business.
Yeah, you do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So for me, I mean, Queens was fun. I got to work with iconic people like Brandy and Eve. It was super dope. Yeah. No complaints, but it showed me that network TV is totally different than cable premium. Like what we can do and say, even down to like change. Do you know that on ABC, when I was working on the show, down to the word the.
You have to approve it, right, with the network?
Yeah, but if you're not saying exactly like, I went to the store is the line. And if I say like, I'm heading to a store. No. I went to the store.
Oh my gosh.
So you can't say DA, like you can't say the.
No, it's the. And like certain things, obviously network is different. So for all those who think like, oh, it should be, it's not easy to do. And to go into both worlds, I had to like reset my brain and be like, oh, this is not Starz. This is not my Power family. This is not me. And I built a new family, and I love the ABC family that I made, and the creators, they were wonderful. Shout out to Zahir McGee, the writer, and all of them. Like, it was great. But I definitely understand that you have a certain protocol that is very different.
You gotta follow it.
Than here on like some place like Starz, which is cable, and you can be free to kind of express parts of the character.
Right.
In network, it's like you do what this character say and stay in those lines.
Yeah, I haven't done network in so long, so that we've only been doing Ghost for a while. Yeah. So there was a scene me and Michael had like a couple weeks ago where we were filming it, and then the writers like came up to us. We did like a bunch of takes, and they're like, we got one take with just the normal dialogue, and they're like, okay, thank you finally for giving us at least one. Because the whole time we were changing everything. And they're like, can you please just give us one? And we're like, that's
because you won't get that anywhere else, or a lot of places. I'll just say that. So be grateful. But I also think it helps you stay sharp. Like on your toes, because if you have too much freedom, I always believe in actors, you have to know how to do both. Don't take freedom for granted. Freedom doesn't mean
you gotta know how to
don't stick to the script. Because the script is written that way for a reason. Those writers actually sat and thought about it. So I respect writers so much now that I'm like, yo, that's why. Like when you curse somewhere, it's intentional. It's music. If there's a high note, but if you put a high note everywhere, we won't appreciate the lows in the middle.
Exactly.
But if you curse in a certain line, like, yeah, you know what? I'm fucking leaving you. If I'm saying I'm fucking leaving you, that's different than I'm leaving you. When it says I'm fucking leaving you, I have left you before. There's history there. I am done with your ass. I'm like having like flashbacks.
No, that's really a fact though. Like when you say
it is very different.
Leaving you, that's
like
the pain
fucking
behind
leaving
everything.
you. It's different than like, you know what? I'm leaving you. because it depends on what the history is. So writers know what they're doing. Sometimes you got to just trust them.
100%. We got some fan questions for you, Naturi, and then we'll get you on out of here.
Yes.
See what the fans are talking
What the fans saying.
So we got
felt my phone vibrate.
Ashley Ochifu, and she asks, what's your favorite and least favorite quality of Tasha's character?
Ooh. Okay. My favorite quality about Tasha is that even when she's down, she finds creative ways to get back up.
Right.
She is one of the most resilient characters. Even like when she was in prison, even when, they were losing money and they had to come up with $3 million to get Ghost out of prison, even when my son was like almost gonna go to jail. It's so many things that Tasha does that I think make her one of the most resilient characters. She's like that bug that you just try to squash like a roach, but you can't get it.
Right.
So that's one of my favorites. One of my least favorite things, I guess one of my least favorites is that she will kill some of the closest people to her if she's threatened. Like, I think sometimes I wish Tasha had a little bit more of a conscience. Like, she is gully and cutthroat. Like, she a little gangster. Not that it's good and bad, but sometimes I'll be like, dang, really, Tosh? Like, really?
So, you had to do that?
Like, you really had to do it. So, I guess parts of me don't like some of her, gangster ways.
Let's see.
Mike?
Champagne Kez. He asks, what's the hardest scene you've had to prepare for on Power?
The hardest scene I had to prepare for. Well, because I spoke about one, but I'll speak about another scene. Actually, we did this scene in the graveyard late at night when I was about to when you kind of betrayed me and tricked me into
going into Witsec.
That was season 1 of Ghost?
That was 1. Yeah, that was like the end of 1.
Yeah, okay, so the end of season 1 of Ghost. When I'm thinking I'm meeting Tariq, at Raina's gravesite to run away. We're gonna run together, and he's like, Ma, no, like,
you gotta be safe.
I gotta protect you, because he knows things that I don't know. But that was really hard to prepare for, because I was like, dang, I don't want to leave like my son. Like, I can't leave. I can't go and be safe and be wondering if y'all are safe, because Tasha's always been a protector. So that scene was tricky for me, because I was like, how does a mother leave? And then like I had no choice. I mean, and we were doing it till like 5 o'clock in the morning. I feel like it was late and cold, and we were tired. That shit was hard as hell, but we did it. Shout out to Rob Hardy, the director of that.
Man,
Rob
always
one of my favorites. He's my favorite director. He's like one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, he did 201 and 210 of Ghost last season for everyone.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
For everyone that did not know.
And he's also worked on Power. He did
Power.
Ghost.
He did
Anthony Hemingway did, I think, Ghost. Like, did he do any on Ghost? Or maybe no, that was the end of Power.
Anthony did Ghost. He did.
I think he did the season finale.
He did the first episode.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
So he did the pilot of Power, and he did the pilot of Ghost.
Isn't that crazy? And he did the season finale, the series finale of Power.
Finale of
when
Power.
I got arrested.
Yeah, he did the series finale.
That man is
of
amazing.
Power.
So shout out to Anthony Hemingway as well. So yep.
Okay, Legacy for Xavier said, were you shocked when Ghost put his finger on your forehead in that one scene? Because we talked about that last week. We were like,
so unplanned,
right.
So not written in the script.
See, that's the type of shit that be killing it though. Like, cause that's what you did in your chemistry read. You did some shit like where you tried to walk away and grab
I was like,
that's you just
actually
unexpected shit.
Exactly, but literally in the scene, this man put his 2 fingers and my head, like legit went back, and I looked at him like, what did you just mush me? I have never felt so shocked. I wasn't acting. There was a refrigerator. He pushed me against the refrigerator. All of that was real. Like I was like, don't get slapped now. Like I will slap a motherfucker. But that scene was so not planned. I was absolutely shocked to the question. But I loved it. When that meme was going, like remember the meme was like all over.
Yeah, it's still everywhere.
Like, literally, like just you see him going like this. Yeah. I think that those are, again, to Amari's credit, I didn't see that coming. He probably didn't even know it was coming.
He probably just did. He probably just felt it like,
sick of me.
He just felt it in his arms like,
he was like, what if I could just...
That's such a gift as a scene partner, though, because
beautiful.
You locked right in. Like, there's no other thought in your head other than, what the fuck?
Yep.
Right.
But I loved it. So
you didn't
that's a special power.
He didn't do it during the rehearsal?
No.
So he just waited until one of the takes?
Absolutely not.
Oh my
and
God,
if I was prepared for it, I probably would have ducked or something. I'd have been like, whoa. He mushed the shit out of me.
Don't hit the wig. Don't hit the leg.
Yeah, but a lot of those things happened on Power. And I mean, it still happen to this day that you have to just be willing to roll with it. And when he did it, I was like, that's perfect. Instead of, actors sometimes get sensitive, like, I wasn't supposed to.
Oh, you didn't tell me you were like, what the fuck out of here?
I like that.
I mean, honestly, don't hurt a person.
Yeah, but
you should be able to react, and the reaction is real. My reaction wasn't
when you
like
expect something,
mad.
like when you expect something, it's just like, all right. But like sometimes it's just like when you surprise them, it's like, oh,
I was like,
just
okay.
like her reaction was literally like real,
very
bro.
authentic. I love stuff like that.
Was there any other specific moments you remember like that happened that popped right out to you? Or?
Let's see. Me and Joe Shakur, we used to have these 420 texts where we would go smoke in the car. I didn't know how to smoke weed at the time. So this is funny. I really don't even really smoke like that. So I'm like a novice. So when they showed me and Joe was like, okay, you gotta like pull like this. And I'm like, what's in this stuff? Like just making sure, am I really gonna get high? Like I was like, I told you I went to Catholic school my whole life. But I'm over here like smoking the L. People think I'm a like legit like expert. And I like kind of did something like we started laughing and choked. Like I choked. I was like, are you serious about that shit? And I did something. It was like season 3 of Power. And it actually was perfect. Like and he was laughing. We started laughing. It was like, hand me the joint. You don't know what you're doing with that. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But in reality, I didn't. But the shit worked. Like me trying to pull a blunt and I pulled too hard was not something, I didn't plan on it going that way, but they used the tape.
That's so good. That's so good.
It's
just a real moment.
You love
real moments.
And stuff like that. Yeah. That's the best.
So that was cool.
Right. You got another one. Let's see.
I like this.
Elise Copeland. She asks, what were your thoughts on the infamous ghost quote? I'm guessing the infamous ghost quote. I just lost the love of my life. Tasha, have some respect.
Is that the infamous ghost quote?
I mean, he has so many quotes, though. But that one right there, that's just like, that was just savage, though.
He said a lot of things. Okay, well, we talked about, so that was, I just lost the love of my life. I feel like there was something else that he said. I mean, how were my thoughts on it? Was like, why are you telling me? I don't give a fuck. Like, I was looking at that like, I was supposed to be the love of your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the one that's still standing here, keeping his family together, holding it down, keeping you out of jail, keeping our son safe, keeping our children safe. We already lost our daughter. Like, I guess my character and in character mind, I was hurt. There was a lot of vulnerability that I think Tasha hid, and she did get to show it a little bit as things started to break down. But real talk, how much is a woman supposed to take?
Yeah.
So that kind of hurts my feelings.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
But, that was an interesting question.
Actually, these questions are pretty fire. They ask us some cool shit.
Yeah, there's so many on the Instagram. If you go through them all, like there was a lot, but I usually just pick like
any 4. Good one? Any last like a really good one?
We touched on a lot of them, but let me.
That you feel like is like a different something.
Are you on the Instagram right now?
Yeah, I'm on it right now. Let's see.
Because you got a shit.
What is you guys'
questions.
Instagram? I gotta like follow. Do you guys have an Instagram?
Yeah, the crew has it. Yeah, we got so many questions for you right now. Did playing the role Tasha change or affect how you thought about life after the fact?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, did playing the role Tasha affect how I thought or saw life?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even
playing Tasha has affected how I see life so much that like I feel like I got a lot of Tasha in me. Right. It definitely made me more protective, like as a mother.
Yeah.
Like the family aspect, even like just in general, like I don't play games with my family. Like, and I will do like the way Tasha would go up to like her daughter's school back when she was still alive to, fight for her to be, I would do that for Zuri right now. Right. But Tasha has given me a sense of confidence that I didn't know that I had, or maybe I had it and I lost it and I got it back. Tasha also has made me embrace my beauty and my sexuality as a woman. I think when you play a role like this, you also have to like dig deep to go hard, to be cutthroat, to be sexy, to do sex scenes, all of the things that she had to do, and to kill someone. Like all those things, like it made me think about how precious life is and how valuable family is. When you come in between a woman, a mother and her children, or a woman and her husband, or a person and their family, like however you want to put it, the wrath of hell is coming for you. And like, there's a lot of me in Tasha and there's a lot of Tasha in me. I do not play about things. Like, when I get serious about something, there's no turning me around. Like, I'm not playing games, and I will tell a motherfucker off. Like, so I warn people, be scared of me, because I'm not just that character. Be scared of Naturi Naughton Lewis too, because I don't play them games.
Naturi don't play.
Nope.
Naturi does
sure
not
don't.
play.
And I will tell you to your face.
I love that. Well, also, that's kind of what, and a lot of shows do this, but I think Power does this so well, is they see something in someone and then they run with it. So like, they saw a lot of, they see Michael and Tariq.
Like how funny you are. I think they saw your natural ability for like spontaneity and improv. You're hilarious.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
With the serious stuff, you find ways to, I just want to make sure I tell you that, because I've been meaning to tell you that. The last season of Ghost was so good, but I watched the dynamic, and like, you find a way to make this brotherhood so natural, but you're funny all while dealing with real shit. You're like, wait, you're gonna kill me? Whoa, I've never sold drugs on the block before.
Bro,
but it's hilarious.
It's so good because like the scene could be so serious. Like, you know how sometimes like there'd be like a serious ass scene, and then like someone would try to add like something funny to it, and it just throws the whole entire scene off. Like, you could literally do that, and like it would keep the whole essence of the scene.
Keep it
like
going.
You just find. I don't know how you do it.
Thank you, Brad.
That's a skill.
The funniest thing that's coming to my head is when Kane was gonna. I thought Kane was gonna kill me when we were going to find the body, and I'm like, a lot of people would miss me, my obscenely large following on TikTok.
Like shit like that.
Wait, that was in the script?
Yeah, that was. I don't remember if it was in the script or not. I know I improv'd a couple alts, but I don't remember if that was in it. But thank you. No, I appreciate that. But yeah, they do. The writers do such a good job of being like, oh, I see this badassness in Naturi. Let's bring this to Tasha. Or I see this kind of little badass kid. He's got Michael's got a little bit of Tariq in him. Let's go with this. So they do a great job of doing that, because the Braden character was never funny.
He was just meant to be like a
boring kid.
And then they started writing towards me. So I gotta give it to our writers. They do such a good job of finding that out of
so true.
in people.
We're very blessed.
But I love you so much, Naturi. Thank you so much for coming on. We want to have you. We want to have you come back on when if Raising Kanan comes on or Ghost comes out. We want you to we'll recap episodes.
So you never know. Tasha is still alive.
She could be out there somewhere. We don't know.
They need to be the Where is Waldo? Where is Tasha?
Where's Tasha?
Like, literally just go through the states and be like, I had a sighting. They should do that.
That'd be dope.
Like sightings of me in a totally different wig with big shades.
Working at a Target.
Exactly. And they'd be like, was that Tasha? No. That's actually a really good. Let me pitch that.
Where's Tupac? They're like, it's Tupac? I thought I saw him.
I thought I saw him.
Right.
No, but thank you guys so much. I'm very proud of what you guys have created. The world of the crew has.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we just want to bring everyone together. Like, what a great way to spend a day with someone and learn about them.
And holla at me whenever you guys want me to come back. We out here. We're in Jersey.
I love that.
We in your hometown.
My hometown. So I have fun.
Is there anything you want to plug? Follow at Naturi Naughton on Instagram. It's
Notorious for real.
At Naturi for real. So at Naturi and then 4, the number 4, and then real, REAL. On Twitter, it's at Naturi Naughton. If you want to follow me there. And just continue to support and see what comes next.
Yes.
My show Queens got canceled, so I'm free and available and ready to work.
Hit my mama up.
Just holla at me. But no, I'm actually really excited just to focus on being a wife and a mom.
That's a new.
It's like a whole
chapter in life.
A whole new chapter. Yeah. And I'm very blessed.
That's fire though. Yeah. Congratulations. I love it.
It'll be. You'll get there one day. You're gonna settle down soon, Michael. Any wifey coming up?
Okay, wifey of what hour is it?
The crew has it. It's a wrap. He's like,
hopefully soon, man. You
gotta settle down at some point.
You gotta take life.
But you enjoyed your youth.
Right.
Don't
gotta have
get caught up.
Oh, facts.
Let me tell you, these chicks say they ain't all what they ain't worth it.
Listen, my mama telling me so.
Right. And if you want to date Michael, you gotta go through Naturi
first.
Because I'm gonna be like, so she what?
You gotta, I ain't gonna lie, you gotta meet like real shit. Like when it really comes down to it, like when it's really the lady, like you gotta meet 3 mothers. You understand? No,
I understand.
4 really. You gotta meet Naturi. Well, first of all, you gotta meet my mom.
Yep.
First of all, you gotta meet my mom. Shauna Small.
Yep.
Then you gotta meet Naturi. Naturi. Then you gotta meet Courtney.
Yep.
Because Courtney, that's my mom too.
Like,
right? And then you meet grandma and
then you gotta meet me, and I have to ask you if you have a sister. So
hilarious. You guys are really good. This is really fun. I enjoyed this.
Shout out your everything you got going on.
The crew has it. Oh, well, follow me on Instagram, Where's22, Michael Rainey Jr., TikTok, Where's22. I just dropped a song produced by me, my boy Wolfface Joey. Yeah, we just dropped a song today.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's called Shake It. Out now. It's gonna be out.
Can I get on like iTunes? Oh,
yeah,
I'm
iTunes.
gonna download it.
We're gonna shoot the video soon. But yeah,
so proud of you.
Michael made the beat for our intro.
No, I know he's
Michael,
like super talented.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Multi-talented.
And then he's got a lounge in Jamaica. I also have a lounge in Panama, but just kidding.
Can you invite me? I'm trying to go to Jamaica with some friends. I need a hookup.
Let's do it.
Like, I need to go to the club. You got your lounge. I'm coming to Jamaica.
There's a whole power wall on the lounge.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, we're all on the wall.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah,
I gotta go. Okay,
I literally posted this morning.
Yeah, like when we rap, show me that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really got nothing cool. Follow me at Gianni V. Paolo and look at my mediocre TikToks. Thank you so much, Michael. Give us one.
Listen. The crew has it, baby.
The crew has it, and you have it. Shout out Naturi Naughton. We love you so much.
Yes,
Thank
my
you.
mama love. This is my mama right here.
Thank y'all.
Don't play with her. Yes.
Thank you, Naturi.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I wanted to mention this.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't want to mention this. I wanted to speak.